So you're looking to move to Westchase, one of the top suburban area of Tampa Bay. Well, in this video, I talk about the pro and con of moving to and living in Westchase. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Orlando Living with Dee. And if this is your first time, press that thumbs up button, show us some love because we bring you community videos all throughout Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa Bay area. And today I'm going to be talking about moving to and living in Westchase, which is one of the top suburban areas. I'm going to talk about the pro and con. Now, before I get into it, I do want to give you a little disclaimer. A pro to me could be a con to you could be a pro to me. So just take it with a grain of salt because, it really depends upon your situation. So talking about the very first pro is look at this beautiful park. This is a great park, and if you have kids, the recreational activities for kids, for them to come down, run around, spend their energy and go home, hopefully eat something and then just go to bed, is fantastic. So the number one reason of living in Westchase has to do with the recreational activities that it provides for family and especially the younger ones. Now let's talk about the next pro of moving to and living in Westchase. And the number two pro of moving to and living in Westchase has to do with the education system that you have right here in Westchase. If you haven't watched my video on the Westchase as a community where I talk about school, hospital, shopping, dining, everything that you need to know, please go ahead and do so on Orlando Living. That's where I have a very detailed video. If it's not released, it will be releasing very soon because as a father of two young kids, I know having access to a great school system is really important. And that, in my opinion, is the number two pro of moving to and living in Westchase. Now let's talk about the next pro of moving to and living in Westchase. So one of the other pro of moving to and living in Westchase is that it's a well-planned community, even though it's only less than 11 square miles. As a matter of fact, this community was established in 1991 with the permission of the Hillsborough County Commissioners. And if you're looking for a planned deed restricted community, there's a lot of sub communities and villages. You have townhome, you have condos, everything. And if you like your area to be well maintained, the lawns are really well landscaped, everything looks uniform, then this is a fantastic place. The downside to that is that there's not a lot of brand new construction in Westchase. It's more of an established community. Your average median price is higher than your other surrounding areas. So if you want to know more, make sure to check out the community video that I actually did for Westchase. Now that the pro is done, let's talk about the con of moving to and living in Westchase. So just like any community, there are pros and cons. Now, before I get into the cons, I just want to give you my regular disclaimer. And yes, I know I said that before, but a con and a pro is more dependent upon you and your family situation. So one of the biggest cons of moving to and living in Westchase area is that you're just about half an hour away from the beach, and during the hurricane season there are certain low-lying areas, so you're more prone to flooding. Your insurance cost on the property may be a little bit higher, so that is something to consider when you are thinking to move to Westchase or any other community for that matter. Now let's talk about the next con of moving to and living in Westchase. So one of the other major cons of moving to and living in Westchase is the public transportation system. If you are going to rely for your work and for your daily activities on a public transportation system, then this may not work for you. Even though Tampa is one of the major metropolitan cities, they just do not have a very good infrastructure when it comes to public transportation system. So please take that into consideration if you have to rely, because even for your little chores like just going to the local grocery store may need you to either bike to it if you love biking, like a mile, 2 miles, or if you need to have a public transportation system, and that is something that may not work, as you would probably see in Chicago, New York, or New Jersey, where actually at one point I used to live, and having a car there was more of a liability than an asset. And over here, you have to have your own transportation system, or else you'll be just waiting for a long time to get from one place to another. Now let's talk about the next con of moving to and living in Westchase. So one of the other cons of moving to and living in Westchase is related to the traffic. Since I mentioned before that there's not a very good public transportation system, that means everybody that is kind of living here, you have to have their own vehicle, own means of transportation, and that kind of adds to the congestion, especially during the peak hours in the morning and in the late afternoon, early evening. So that is something to keep in mind, because if you do not like to ride or get stuck in the traffic, then this may not work. And the other thing also is that because it is one of the most preferred suburban area in Tampa Bay areas, the cost of living and also the cost of housing is a little bit more higher than the other surrounding suburban areas. If you would like to know more about different other communities in Central Florida and Tampa, make sure to check out the playlist. That's where we have done a lot of community videos for different suburban areas to give you an idea. We just hope that you get a lot of value from our videos, and if you do, please press that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. It's free for you, but it's going to help us immensely so our content is shown more to people that are looking to make a move to Central Florida and Tampa area. And now that I'm TikToking and Instagramming, make sure to check me out there. Until the next community video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.